All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Super Metroid multi-category tournament race. Today we have RBO, and we've got Diddy versus Whewty. Should be a really great race. Saw both runners practicing some Dragon Escape before the race got started, so looking forward to a real good one here today. So good luck to both of our runners. Of course, the Super Metroid multi-category tournament is sponsored by Balls Guarana and Mega Cat Studios. Both of our sponsors are coming together to grant our runners a $750 total prize pool for the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. So huge thanks to Balls Guarana and Mega Cat Studios for their generous offers. It's really exciting to see everybody's hobby just get a little bit sweeter. I mean, I'm sure that the Super Metroid multi-category tournament would have taken off without any kind of prize pool, but just makes it a little bit better. So thank you so much to Balls and Mega Cat Studios. And before we get started here, as far as the vetoes went, I believe Whewty, as the higher seed, actually deferred the option of first veto. So that left the first veto option up to Diddy. And hold on. Okay, countdown is done. Let me scroll back up here in SRL. Sorry. So the first veto from Diddy was all bosses, and then Whewty vetoed GT Classic, and we end up with RBO. All right, the countdown in SRL has been completed, so any moment now we should be seeing our runners get going here. Good luck to both of them again. Hope we have a really close and clean race on our hands. All right. While we're going through Meridian, or where are we going? Series station. Excuse me. Looking at the participant spreadsheet here, it looks like Whewty has an RBO PB listed as 133.40. I'm not sure if that's updated since the multi-category tournament started. And then Diddy Kong. Let me find him on the thing here. And there we go. And Diddy Kong has a PB of 156.27. But of course, with a volatile category such as RBO, there is so much stuff that can happen in this. So a lot of opportunities for the runners to take a lead or lose a lead. We'll see how many safeties that the runners decide to take along the way. Safeties, of course, being the number of e-tanks that they want to take, or possibly the number of reserves. We have seen runners go as far as even defeating Bot Wound before heading down into Lower Norfair to get that one extra e-tank. I don't think we've seen anybody do the Sandpit reserve, but that's because that trick is stupid hard, especially even harder without space jump. So don't think that we'll see that, as wall jumping through that sandpit is pretty time consuming. It looks like Whewty's got just a second lead right now coming out of Series Station. Of course, so much race left, it's really not even worth talking about who's ahead at this point. Execution and routing are going to be a little bit important at the beginning, but really the volatility is going to be what determines how the runners are going to fare. Coming out of Meridia is really where execution picks up more than just the the volatility of the category. That's when most of it's over, but of course there is still some opportunity for error after that point of the game, as their runners will only have the various suit after they kill Kraid. So there is still some damage, a little bit of damage that they have to worry about from Mother Brain that is not the standard damage. So just something else that the runners will have to keep in mind throughout the run. And RBO really is not only just a incredible challenge of the runner's knowledge of the game, but it takes an incredible amount of focus to be able to finish in a race setting. It's one thing when you're just on your own trying to do this. You can save, you can do whatever you want, but knowing that there's somebody else trying to beat you at every little thing in this kind of category makes it just a little bit tougher. All right, Whewty is first back to the elevator, and now we'll see one of the things that we can see our runners do from here is we might see him kill the metal pirates in the next room and then go back down the elevator to pick up the E-tank in the ceiling, as the ridiculously hard, like frame perfect 50-50 wall jump to get it early is not really worth the time. But here we have Whewty turning around to go grab it, and Diddy following suit. So both runners going to be looking to get this missile pack that is the behind the E-tank, and then deboosting off of the lettuce leaf to grab the E-tank in the ceiling. That's funny, Fry Guy. I always thought it would be funny if the runners had to do RBO based on what they do any percent with. But for this category, it's Nintended reverse boss order, though I'm not really sure it was Nintended at all ever. But there's a lot of speculation on what exactly the developers of the game knew could be figured out. And a lot of it's just pretty convenient as far as it being nearly perfectly set up to be able to do some of the stuff that you see a lot of Super Metroid players able to do. Whewty having a very clean shaft climb and parlor. So even with the dip back into Blue Brinstar, gets to bombs at about 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Now he's going to set up for the Bomb Chorizo fight, and we'll see what his preferred setup is. There's a couple different ways you can do it. Ultimately, you want to manipulate the Chozo into jumping back as early as possible. From what I understand from what I've been watching and practicing, there is actually a spot where you can line up to get him to do it pretty much every time. If you line your back shoulder up to the first dashed line that Whewty's kind of standing on. And then if you go into ball form, pretty much he jumps back every time, at least from what I've practiced. There's a couple other ways you can do it too, but you want to get him to jump back. No, don't take any damage, and then farm those little balls that he throws up everywhere. And hope for missile drops. But it's not, and yeah, the reason that you don't want to take any damage is because I believe that they drop more energy than missiles. So it makes the fight a little bit longer. Diddy there just opting to go with regular shots and even getting the Bomb Chorizo's face to fall off, which does last a little second, give him a couple iframes, but it's not anything too hard for Diddy to overcome. And he's out, and he's on to Alcatraz, which he gets. There we go. Very nicely done. And he's off to follow Whewty through the Terminator room. That's cool from Diddy. It looks like he just angled down, ran, and shot, hold the shoot button the entire time, and was able to take out all of the enemies that he needed to, and then just had to switch to missiles to take out one of the waivers to not take any damage through there. And it looks like he's going to missile these pirates. He's going to need to grab one drop before he can get to early supers. Whewty already into the early supers room. He's going to grab those. Turn right around and then go grab the reserve tank. Yep. Aptly named Terminator because it's the room that you run and shoot everything in. Oh, Whewty going for the reverse mock ball. Not quite getting through the gate, which that's not an easy thing to do. So definitely nothing to hold against Whewty as far as execution. That's not an easy trick. We'll see Diddy set up for the same trick. And he squeezes into the gate with the reverse mock ball. And that's very tight. So well done by Diddy. Whewty grabbing the charge missiles. He's going to head down and grab the charge beam before heading to the Green Hill Zone. Of course, he will be back after he picks up Speed Booster. He's going to be back into this area, grab some more super missiles. I think Spore Spawn missiles will be something he goes and hits up. He'll also be getting I believe the Wave Gate E-Tank and the Waterway E-Tank. Probably the safeties, some more of the safeties that we'll see our runners come and pick up. But there is a Brinstar cleanup portion to the RBO run. All right, Diddy getting to the bottom of Green Hills. Whewty's going to pick up the Spazer Beam, the Meme Beam. The icon stolen from Super Mario Brothers 2. The claw grip holding the S. Diddy heads down to the bottom of Red Tower. This room that Diddy is entering right now is one of my favorite rooms to practice. There's so many ways that you can make it through that room. You can do what Diddy did, where he goes and you take out the bats and then you just jump across. You can also land on the platform, shoot the door open, and then run to the lower platform, jump up and deboost off the bat through the door, which is one of my favorite things to practice because it's just very fluid. Diddy's and Whewty both going to jump up to the back end of Meridia here to farm up on these bugs before heading into Norfair. They are going to have 3 E-Tanks after grabbing the High Jump Boots E-Tank and the 1 reserve to complete the Hell Runs to Bubble Mountain. 4 E-Tanks is really a really nice, solid number of E-Tanks to do those Hell Runs. Oh, of course, ice first. And then after ice, the E-Tank will refill them before they start the Hell Runs. And it looks like Diddy's going to opt to grab ice later. And one reason that you might see a little bit of variance there is that ice can be used to freeze some of the waivers in Bubble Mountain. So it kind of gives you like a little bit of a backup in case you can't get the wall jump on the first try. Or there's even, I know some runners actually prefer that method. I know that watching Sloters, he will almost always freeze those waivers when he's going through any percent in that area, as opposed to doing the wall jumps. And an E-Tank grab high five from our runners at the moment. Whewty coming into the can room, and Diddy on his way out after grabbing the high jump boots and missile pack and the E-Tank. And Diddy's going to get started on these hell runs, so good luck to Diddy as he goes through here. This is really one of the first points of the game where things can go wrong if you happen to get caught somewhere or bounce off something that you weren't supposed to. But he has a good first room. So far, so good in the cathedral room. And now probably we'll be doing a little bit of a, mock ball into the bottom there, avoiding the heavy damage hitters. And he's going to avoid the seahorses as well, but it looks like he's going to be fine coming out of, or coming into Bubble Mountain. So now this is where the safeties are going to start. We're going to start seeing a lot of safety saves. So Whewty's deciding to save before doing the hell runs. Diddy taking the save in Bubble Mountain afterwards. Able to keep his reserves. He does have 56 health. We'll see if he takes out anything. He's going to take out King Cac. Not sure where King Cac comes into the RBO playing field as far as where you have to kill him, but he's dead now for Diddy. So I'm sure we'll see Whewty take care of him as well, as that super drop is pretty important as you come into this area. And Diddy actually dipping into the reserves to have just a little bit more time to get to the farm spot here. Has a little bit of trouble getting into the hole in the ceiling, but makes it just fine. He's going to farm up. I assume that we'll see him also take the time to fill up his reserve tank at this point. And there's Whewty. He is getting a little bit of energy as he did have to dip into his reserves already. But probably going to grab a save here just to be on the safe side. And to repeat something that I heard Kip say yesterday when he was doing RBO commentary, Kip was talking about how there's this category capitalizes so heavily on your mistakes, more so than any other category that you run in Super Metroid. So things that you might be bummed that you lose a second on in other runs those are the things that could possibly kill you in RBO. So that's one of the reasons we're going to see our runners take as many saves as possible really going forward from this point. Well, not necessarily from this point, but while we're in Norfair, and then as we come back into lower Norfair, that's when we'll also be seeing basically every save station being utilized along the way. All right, Whewty is farmed up. He's going to go off into the speed booster hallway. Another brief high five in the farm room. Yeah, Whewty, that's how you pump it. Of course, I'm sure that most of you guys know this, but just in case you don't, the runners, you'll see them arm pumping on flats and on certain slopes. It doesn't work on all slopes. You can actually trip yourself up. But the arm pumps essentially pull your sprite forward 1 pixel. So the more arm pumps that you can fit into your run, the more frames that you're able to save over the course of an hour plus run. That really is going to pick up and make a difference towards your final time. And if you watched the something about Super Metroid speedruns animated short that somebody put together on YouTube, I thought that the arm pumps, like making sure that the arm pumps were captured, was one of the funniest parts of that, just because it's such an interesting and prolific part of speedrunning Super Metroid. All right, Diddy is now going to be exiting one of the tougher rooms in the game. Some people call it, refer to this as the actual worst room in the game. the double chamber room before wave beam. There are so many things that can go wrong in there, as far as falling on spikes or not quite getting your wall jumps, or of course, the different variations of the randomizer SMZ3. People would end up in there without morph ball and have to gate glitch their way out. I mean, there's, especially with the new iterations of Super Metroid, there is just so much stuff that can happen. Yeah, thank you, Bugs. You can also go through the platforms that you have to use to get through there. So there's just a lot of opportunity, not only for time loss, but also to take damage that you didn't think was necessary. And while doing hell runs, taking extra damage often can spell death for you. Yep, missing the platforms, missing the first jump. That's pretty much one of my favorite things to do in that room, apparently, is as soon as I run in, just not actually jump off that first platform and fall straight into the bottom. In a randomizer, that brings up some horrible circumstances. In any percent, it's not as bad because you have speed booster and high jump boots, so you can just run from the floor and jump straight back up onto the platforms. But yeah, that's my go-to move in there, apparently, from what I've learned playing any percent. And I think it was, I heard Sephi say this, but Diddy facing off with Norfair's favorite Gerber baby, Crocomire. So if you haven't already, please make sure to get your favorite Croc emotes in the chat. I know there's a ton of great ones out there. Toasty's got a good one here from, of course, we all know the What a Crocs and the Cheaty Myers. There's also some other, there's the Bugs Can't Hide has one of my favorites, that's Ancient Game Croc emote. That one's great. Ooh, nice, Galen. A little dead croc action. I like. Diddy setting up to spark across to get the second alpha power bombs. And we'll see him continue on into the grapple beam. Grapple runners not only need grapple to really do the Meridia portion of the RBO run, but there is a really good chance that we'll see some extra safeties grabbed in Meridia before Lower Norfair, which the grapple beam really helps you out in there. It can basically one-shot a fair amount of the critters in Meridia. So seeing how you have no suits, that can be pretty helpful for not taking a ton of damage, because the Meridia enemies hit extremely hard when you just have the yellow power suit. Oh, and Diddy just barely bonking his shoulder on the wall there. Not quite able to get the coolest mock ball in the game, but that one's just not very easy either. You really do have to kind of time that one well. Yes, very true, Bugs. The grapple beam, or sometimes referred to as the farmer's beam, definitely utilized a lot in the pre-Ridley room. You'll see the runners do a crystal flash right before they go in to fight Ridley, and then they need to farm up the supers that they lost as fast as possible, so they can maximize the health in the Ridley fight and do the Ridley fight as fast as possible, of course, wanting the maximum 30 supers to be able to take him down as fast as you can. Whewty's grabbing the grapple beam, and Diddy is into the Croc escape room, using grapple for its intended purposes in that room. Whewty nails the coolest mock ball in the game, getting the swag points, which don't actually do anything for you except for get you cool SM community street cred, which is really just as important as winning races, to be honest. All right, Whewty is all farmed up after getting grapple beam. He's gonna grab a save in the room after Crocmire, just in case, because in that Croc escape room there is also a fair amount of stuff that can go wrong if you happen to miss one of your grapples. With speed and high jump boots, you can do like a quick run on the platform and get enough momentum to actually jump up onto the ledge or wall jump off of it, but that's also not incredibly easy. So Diddy grabbing ice beam on the way out looked like maybe wanting to set up for an ice escape, but kind of limited on health, so it's just going to exit the... I don't know what way that this is actually intended to exit, but he's going to go out the way where you don't mock ball out. As far as who is in the lead, right now I would say Diddy is ahead by maybe like 10 seconds. With this kind of run, at this point in the run, that's not really significant enough to solidify that Diddy's got a firm grip on the match or anything. And their routes so far are just slightly different. The only minor difference so far is that Whewty opted to grab Spazer and Ice Beam on the way in, basically. Diddy has not grabbed the Spazer, it looks like, and got Ice Beam on the way out of Norfair. But Diddy is going to be going over to do the Brinstar cleanup, so a couple E-tanks here. Whewty hitting up the Sloaters refill, shout out to Sloaters. Though I believe he has another refill, he may have abandoned this one, I'm not sure who the rightful owner, maybe he just mortgaged it like in Monopoly, and we'll see him take it up again later. And as our runners get ready to do green Brinstar cleanup, or I'm sorry, Brinstar cleanup, it's also pink Brinstar that's mostly... just to let you guys know, we do have 3 other matches on the schedule today for the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. At 4 p.m. Eastern, we have Azo and Mumu Didi. And then at the same time, we'll have Toasty and Aussie 101. They'll be on separate channels, though, because we're not sure if they'll be playing the actual same category. And then our final race of the week and of round 5 of the Swiss, at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Galamaz and TG Derp. So we have a lot of really great matchups for you guys today. Of course, as we get farther and farther into the Swiss, the matchups just tend to get better and better. But Toasty, Aussie, Galamaz, and Derp, Azo, and Mumu Didi all should be really great matches. So if you want to watch more Super Metroid, make sure that you stick with us on the different SpeedGaming channels, and you'll definitely be seeing more Super Metroid throughout the day. All right, Diddy is into the Etacoons already, having grabbed that E-Tank, and I'm sure the Super Pack that is also on the way in there, and then is going to grab the Power Bomb Pack here at the bottom of Green Brinstar. And Whewty is going into the Super Shaft. So he's going to grab those. Of course, having this Ice Beam is going to freeze these germs to make the running room just a little bit longer. Gets up there no problem. And we also might be seeing Whewty head to possibly to the Gauntlet E-Tank. That I'm not as sure about. We'll just have to see what Whewty does. Diddy heading into the Mission Impossible room to grab a Power Bomb Pack in there. So Whewty heads out of the parlor. We might see him grab the Power Bombs in the ceiling, or in the sky, in the ceiling. landing site power bombs. Diddy's going to get set up to backdoor Spore Spawn's item, lining up to basically get the super missile to hit the tile that's off the screen, which there are a ton of different setups for. Diddy going for a deboost off the hidden enemy in the ceiling. But he picks up Spore Spawn Super and is going to leave with his item without even visiting. Whewty setting up for a wraparound shot to open the door to Gauntlet. So I'm not going to get into the details, but basically lining up a shot that's going to open the door on the other side of the screen, set up a spark so Whewty can spark all the way through the Gauntlet without having to lay any bombs. Going to grab the going to grab the E-Tank and then just head out the other side. Diddy's going to grab the Wavegate E-Tank. Of course, not being a randomizer and having the wave beam already, doesn't have to waste supers on the super setup to get to glitch through there. All right, and Whewty having some extra safeties. Gonna be heading into Brinstar to start the cleanup there. We'll see where Diddy goes from here. Could be headed towards the shaft like Whewty just did to grab those supers, or possibly even heading straight into Meridia. But Diddy charging up on the platform above Waterway and jumping down to spark through to grab the E-Tank without gravity. And if you're not already, make sure that you give both these runners a follow. Diddy Kong participates in a ton of the Super Metroid stuff. I believe he's also one of the organizers for the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. So he's a pillar of the Super Metroid community. Whewty also participates in quite a bit of the Super Metroid stuff, especially the vanilla tournaments. A very accomplished Super Metroid runner. And both runners extremely entertaining when you're just watching them do their individual streams. So make sure that you give these guys a follow and check them out sometime. Here we have Diddy going through the construction zone portion of Blue Brinstar to grab that extra power bomb pack. And looks like just a slight routing difference between Whewty and Diddy. Whewty opting to go up first before completing the Brinstar cleanup. Diddy doing the Brinstar cleanup and then opting to go up to Shaft Supers, possibly up to Gauntlet and to the power bombs in the sky at the landing site. I keep saying it wrong. It's Shaft Supers. That's how you're supposed to say it, I think. And Diddy is looking to set up a couple wall jumps in the Shaft Supers, just to conserve a little bit of health here, but after one try, just goes for the shoulder charge. Straight up, Whewty's going to get set up for the Wavegate room, which isn't much of a setup, actually having the wave beam. Diddy headed back up to the parlor. Whewty grabbing the Wavegate E-Tank and is now going to head over to the Waterway E-Tank. Diddy holding on to the spark before grabbing the save. You will hold on to the spark through the save, and it'll finish its 3-second timer, but it will see him pop out of the ship and just immediately spark up to the right side. Whewty taking the back door into the Spore Spawn Supers. Diddy takes out these little dragon guys. Picks up the power bombs in the sky. The first official boss that they'll be yeah, Shaq Tool is the boss that they actually need to kill next. Yeah, no, this isn't all bosses. But so we'll either see runners go to Ridley. We might even see them go to Golden Chorizo. So if you're going to classify Golden Chorizo as a boss that's not actually in the reverse boss order of things, we might see him. But I know in the race yesterday between Maniacal and Kish, they went and got Screw Attack, used the refill, but didn't grab the Golden Chorizo supers, as we've seen some other runners do. I think grabbing the Golden Chorizo supers really gets you up to about 35 supers, so you do have a little bit more leeway in the Ridley fight. But that's what I was talking about as far as we'll see how many safeties the runners decide to take. And Diddy's route allowing him to go the back or through the top of Red Tower. So he's going to be able to grab a power bomb pack or two here. And Whewty setting up really nicely for the pipe exit. Freezes the fish. He's going to jump off of it. That was very nicely done. Of course, later is going to have to do Main Street the old-fashioned way by freezing the crab off or after knocking him off the wall. But that was a really nice entrance to Meridia. Really, both runners having some really nice execution so far. Both should be, I would think, would be pretty satisfied with their gameplay at this point. Whewty not quite getting the ledge grab, down grab onto the fish, so he's going to try again. The fish on a global movement timer. So as the longer that you spend in this room, the lower and lower the fish will get. So really, if you don't get it the first time, you can just kind of wait and freeze it again to give yourself a better chance at being able to jump on top of him. Yeah, really nice grapple section there from Whewty. That was really nice. Whewty's going to get up to the beach section and get the watering hole missiles. He's going to wait for this crab and use it as a extra platform to get through here, as the wall jumps required to get up to those other platforms are not only tight, but extremely tedious to pull off in the water, which is one of the reasons that we don't see the runners go for the sandpit reserve. Diddy also having an excellent entrance here into Main Street of Meridia. So, like I said, both runners really having some nice execution so far, which has given us a really fascinating race as we see the slight differences and variations in their routing. There's a really good chance that they're going to come into into Lower Norfair basically at the same time. I think Diddy's going to have to wait out this crab and fish again, just a little bit lower than when it's on the side of the crab there, or the sizer. And so now that fish is lower, should be able to... Oh, maybe has to... Oh, careful, Diddy. Almost took a hit off that crab and ended up lower. Whewty's PB is a 133, according to the spreadsheet. Whewty's going to make his way over to the crab supers. Very nice. Freezing the crab and then bombing it to death to use it basically as a momentum stop. Oh no, Diddy grappling through whatever this room is called. Doesn't quite grab onto the grapple blocks, but with the grapple jumps can just kind of get right back up there. Mount Everest. Thank you, Bugs. Whewty on the way out of Mount Everest. Thanks again, Bugs. And he's going to freeze the fish, jump over so he can get to the Mama Turtle E-Tank. And Diddy's going to show off those very tight wall jumps to get up to the watering hole. And he's going to have to wait out this crab to be able to get up to that next platform. And one thing that you'll see the runners do while they're doing suitless water physics is you'll commonly see them not only do the down grabs, which makes your hitbox smaller and lets you get up onto platforms tighter than if you're in a normal standing position, but you'll also see runners crouching before they jump, which does give you just a little bit extra height. So these are like the very small things that you have to be able to know when and how to utilize to get through suitless sections of the game when you're dealing with the water physics. For example, for Diddy here, upon exiting the watering hole, I believe we'll see him do a crouch jump and down grab to get out of this part. So you can see him crouching before he jumps and then doing the angle down. Doesn't have to do the full down grab, but that angle down takes your hitbox basically from 3 squares to 2 squares, gives you an extra tile of leeway to be able to get up onto a platform. Of course, tiles being another very important thing to kind of have a slight understanding of in Super Metroid. Even though the textures of the platforms will look rounded, everything is set to a square tile, which so that's why also kind of how you'll see a lot of ledge grabs working. Even though it looks like it's a very specific outline, you actually have to get to a certain point before you can hit that ledge grab, or it'll look like you or maybe it'll look like you've ledge grabbed like way earlier, but it's just how the tiles are set up as far as the actual workings of the game. All right, Whewty is back into Norfair and is farming up on these bugs. This farm, I believe, is for ammo, as health can be gathered at the Nutella refill on the way into Lower Norfair. Excuse me. Diddy's gonna grab the crab supers here. And then he's going to turn high jump boots back on. High jump boots were turned off because needing to do that mid-water morph to get into crab supers with high jump boots is just a little bit tight. And it's significantly easier if you give yourself a little bit more time without the jumping momentum that high jump boots gives you. So Diddy's going to... Looks like Diddy is going to go the opposite way into the Mama Turtle room. Maybe not without that spazer. I don't know if a charge shot will just freeze that fish outright, so can't use the same strategy that Whewty used to enter this section of the game. But on Whewty's screen, we have him getting into Lower Norfair. This is one of those pain points of RBO run, is just getting through to the Lower Norfair elevator. A runner, the runners today, being as tenured as they are, really this part of the game should be more of a cakewalk for them, as this is something that they've done multiple times in multiple categories. Whewty gets through the lava dive without any issue first try, so he's going to grab a save at the elevator. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the safety saves coming into play. We're basically going to see Whewty at this point grabbing every save room that he possibly can. So he's going to save here after he gets through and feels comfortable going down to Ridley. He's going to take that save as well. But yeah, we're really seeing Whewty start into the meat and potatoes section of the run, as this is definitely the most terrible and scariest part of any RBO run. So good luck to Whewty as he navigates through here, and we will see Diddy following in his footsteps pretty shortly as he exits Meridia. All right, Whewty getting ready for the green gate glitch is going to lay a power bomb to take care of those rippers. One of the things that the rippers can do in there is there's one at the perfect height to just catch your missile as you're trying to do the gate glitch, which feels so bad, especially when you've been trying to get that glitch for like 4 or 5 tries, and then all of a sudden this stupid ripper gets in your way and stops the one that actually went through. Whewty's gonna lay some power bombs here to farm up on the rippers to have more supers, which okay, it looks like is going to go down and grab the screw attack. We'll see if he goes into fight Golden Chorizo or if he's comfortable with this missile count heading into Ridley. Yeah, Whewty took the lead in cleanup. They really picked up most of the same things. Diddy opted to do Brinstar first and then go up to Shaft Supers and then go to Gauntlet and all that stuff. And then backdoored Red Tower to pick up some extra power bomb packs. Whewty went to Shaft Supers first and then went to Gauntlet, went down through Brinstar and into Meridia. So I think the routing made the big difference there. All right, Whewty setting up for fast pillars, gets a spark, grabs a power bomb from one of the blue orbs there, and is going to get ready to get through worst room in the game, which with screw attack makes it a little bit better, but there's still so many things that can go wrong in this room. And of course, time being of the essence in this section of the run so heavily, but he gets that wall jump on his first try, and he's going to head on into the... whatever this room is, amphitheater, I think. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I always get amphitheater, Coliseum, and aqueduct confused. Not necessarily because I don't understand the difference in the rooms, because they're significantly different, but I just can't ever remember which room name lines up with which one. Diddy in the lava dive and is through the lava dive, but does have to dip into the reserve. So he's going to have to crystal flash a little earlier than most of the runners would like to. They would like to be able to crystal flash after they take the lower Norfair elevator, but at least has the ability to do the crystal flash, not taking a death there, going back to a save. Whewty down into the Firefly's E-Tank, so now has full health. We'll probably grab a couple power bombs before heading out of here. But Whewty is headed down into the Three Amigos section, so he's feeling comfortable with his items right now. And I'm sure we'll see him grab a save here, the last save before Ridley. But hopefully these runners will continue to have really nice execution, as both of them really have been showing a wonderful ability to play RBO. The current category is reverse boss order, so we will see our runners without any power suits heading into Ridley for a fight first. Whewty is into the wasteland with screw attack, able to just take out all these side hoppers. And does take a hit off of that one side hopper, which might be a little bit problematic here, but we'll be getting a little bit of energy off of these Metal Ninja Pirates. And going for Shine Spark strategies, not quite getting the first one, so it's just going to use supers to take out the first Metal Ninja Pirate, and then uses the Shine Spark strategy, killing him with the Shadow on the second one. Is a little bit tight here as far as energy goes, though, so it's going to basically immediately Crystal Flash upon entering the pre-Ridley room. Sometimes you'll see the runners kind of navigate through it and pick up some stuff along the way. But is actually going to opt to Crystal Flash before heading in there, so we'll see him immediately after this equip the grapple beam and basically be moving through the room and trying to farm as much as possible. Definitely looking for super drops, but we'll of course be grabbing power bombs from the blue orbs along the way. Diddy is in the worst room in the game, so neither runner opting to fight Golden Chorizo for an extra 5 supers. Just going over there to get the refill. Here we see the farming start, so bless RNG into chat for Whewty as we hope for super missile drops. And Whewty's also going to turn off Ice and Spazer, so it looks like I'm going to utilize some Crystal Flashes, not Crystal Flashes, excuse me, some X Factors in at the beginning of the Ridley fight. Oh, and it looks like Diddy took an unfortunate death. I believe Diddy's last save is at the top of Lower Norfair. So hopefully that little bit of extra time spent crystal flashing up above not having an impact on his ability to navigate, but he did make it to the recharge station, so I don't believe that that's the issue. And Whewty starting the Ridley fight and gets some nice pogos at the start, manipulates Ridley to turn around so he can just shoot straight up on this left side, which is where you want Ridley to be. But now Ridley's kind of going back into some swoops, so Whewty's gonna climb the shaft and try to hit him, and I think that should be good for Whewty. He has unloaded all of the supers. Wow, very nice Ridley fight on Whewty's part. Should have plenty of energy here to not have to dip into the well, I spoke too soon. The little commentator's curse there. Sorry, Whewty. Does have to dip into the reserves a little bit to be able to get the drops, but is going to get refilled off of the Ridley E-Tank. So pending a clean exit, of course, Whewty is going to need to farm up just enough supers and power bombs on the way out of Ridley to be able to crystal flash one more time before exiting Lower Norfair. But so far, Whewty really showing off here, putting on a really great run for you guys today. Diddy, of course, also playing very well, so hopefully Diddy will be able to do a little bit of catch up. There's still plenty of time for Diddy to be able to catch up to Whewty, as Whewty's definitely not out of the woods quite yet, having to go into Meridia with no suits. But Whewty having some pretty good drops here in the room. Ooh, Diddy getting pretty low on health, but making it into the refill room just in time, not having to dip into those reserves, which is very important at this section of the game. You want to minimize dipping into those reserves until you really have to. Having to get into those reserves at this point would be pretty devastating to the Diddy's navigation of Lower Norfair. Whewty getting through the Wasteland is going to look to set up a speedball out of Wasteland and is going to be in a position to Crystal Flash before heading through Three Amigos. I don't even play RBO. I think that's one of the funniest part of commentating for the multi-category tournament is I don't play vanilla Super Metroid. I've played like 7 actual days of any percent. Other than that, it's all randomizer. But I do really appreciate the kind words. You're all very nice. And it's also nice to see the background I got in college doing radio actually paying off somehow. All right, Diddy is into the amphitheater and was going for a very tight, like on that platform to be able to wall jump to that last pirate, you kind of have to start halfway on that platform. Otherwise your run speed will be messed up. High jump boots and speed booster, especially speed booster, is pretty finicky as far as how it gets you speed. It like kind of starts off pretty quick and then slows down a little bit before speeding up again. So especially without high jump boots can be kind of problematic and takes a little bit of getting used to, but that's why you'll see the runners set up at certain points to do certain things. They just need to have the perfect amount of speed to navigate the rooms in certain ways or to set up certain rooms. And so they know where to line those up to manipulate that speed up, slow down, speed up mechanic of Speed Booster. Lucius, I have been playing the Super Metroid randomizer for about 3 years now, thanks to Sephi and Freya's for getting me set up to be able to play that on emulator. So a lot of the stuff that I've learned has been through playing and watching so much of that. But it's just hilarious because like I don't know where certain items are because they're always randomized for me. Like I know where the main items are, but when it comes to minors, sometimes I'm like, he's going in here. I don't really know what he's getting. But he's gonna grab something. All right, Whewty exiting Lower Norfair, farming up a little bit in the posts in the pre-speed booster hallway room. And is going to be headed out of Norfair, though I believe we'll probably head down to another farm spot. Or might even be going to take... There we go. He's going to possibly go down here and get the Nutella refill for energy, as his health is pretty good right now. And he will need to be prepared to do a Crystal Flash in Dragon, but we'll have plenty of opportunity to farm up power bombs along the way. Definitely doesn't need to be completely full of power bombs at this point. All right. Oh, Diddy takes a dip into the acid. Oh, and the acid hurts and really takes your health down fast on top of the heat damage, which Kip was also saying, Kip being one of the people that when he commentates RBO, I am definitely paying attention to the stuff that he's saying because he's very knowledgeable about Super Metroid in general. But Kip is saying that in RBO, this room that Diddy just took a death in, the pre-Ridley room, is one of the most important rooms in RBO It's, you know, the fight with Ridley and some of the navigation, you can take care of it, but actually getting in there, getting your crystal flash off, getting the farm that you need before heading in there really sets up or kind of makes or breaks the rest of your run at that point. And like I had repeated from Kip earlier, this is the run that will punish your mistakes. Instead of Diddy falling into the acid and having just a couple seconds lost, he ends up taking a death and has to go back to his most recent save. All right, Whewty's going to start the re-entry to Meridia. He's going to use some classic Main Street strategies. He's setting up these enemies to be able to be frozen. And what he's doing right now is he's waiting for this crab to climb up onto the side of this wall, and then he's going to shoot a super into the wall, which is going to knock the crab off. He's going to freeze it in midair and use it as a platform, and then use the fish as his other platform to make the start up onto the main street. And very nicely done from Whewty there. Diddy back into the pre-Ridley room, just looking to farm up a little bit of extra stuff while waiting for his opportunity to crystal flash. And so he's going to wait for his reserves to pop, and then he's going to crystal flash basically immediately. With the heat damage, around 80 is where you want to do your crystal flash, because you have to be below 50, but if you start it at 50, you run the risk of actually dying before the crystal flash goes off. And now we have Diddy farming. Bless RNG for Diddy. Hopefully we'll see some massive super drops. So far, the bug's not being super kind, or the Zebos, I think they're called. And he's getting a lot of health, which is very unfortunate. I mean, with the farm beam, you're able to kind of keep up with the heat damage, but you're always going to kind of be at a net loss. And really, you're up against the clock as well. So you just want to see those missile drops. He needs 5 more right now. And as you can see, the health drops, even though they're able to mitigate some of the heat damage, he is just overall operating at a loss there as far as energy goes. Whewty headed towards bot wound. He's going to go utilize a grapple jump to get up there, which is a trick that Whewty actually taught me to do when I was learning some randomizer stuff. He's going to grab a save in here just in case. Doesn't want anything too bad to happen. I think his last save at this point is in Lower Norfair. Uh-oh, do I sound like a robot? Anyways, Diddy unloaded all the supers and was waiting for the jerk Ridley to finish up some pogos here, but does get grabbed and should also have enough health to not have to dip into the reserves. All right, gets the energy back up, takes care of Ridley, and is going to go grab the Ridley E-Tank. Whewty's going with the grapple jumps here to get up into bot wound. And looks like he's got the pattern here, so... Oh, unless that snail becomes a jerk. Oh, luckily, snail not quite far enough to have a huge impact on Whewty's ability to get through there. And Whewty bombs the snail to establish his dominance. So Diddy is going to need to farm up just enough to do another crystal flash on the way out. Ooh, the Zebo dropping a couple regular missiles, which I think is one of the lowest percentage drops that those Zebos have. But he's gonna... Alright, he's got enough to do the crystal flash, so he's gonna get on getting out of here. Does take a dip into the acid, which is unfortunate, but hopefully he'll still have enough energy to make it through. You really want to see a crystal flash by about the 3 Amigos room. Whewty needs to pick up one more power bomb, so hopefully bot wound is generous with drops. Bot wound hits very hard though, so we're probably going to see Whewty be farming up on the bugs before you go to whatever the room is called before Aqueduct, where you prep your Haffy. I'm not really sure what that one's called, but where the mock droids appear and you can grapple up the sides. All right, Diddy out of Wasteland and does have enough energy. Looks like he's going to stop here. You can Crystal Flash in this little in Morph Ball, like a Morph Ball space. Even though he'll clip up into the thing, he'll still drop back down. He's not going to get stuck there. Whewty grabs the Botwoon E-Tank to refill energy, but and actually does have enough ammo to Crystal Flash into Dragon. But I think that we'd see Whewty get more drops here. That way, if something happens to go wrong with the exit, you can Crystal Flash again to give yourself another try before having to reset. So I think we'll see Whewty pick up full supers and enough power bombs at least to Crystal Flash a couple times. But Diddy having to Crystal Flash a little bit earlier than where the runners usually do is definitely going to want to hightail it for the rest of the exit of Lower Norfair, taking some shots off of these Namahes, which is not optimal either. So he's going to have to be careful in here with the acid that's coming up. Takes another shot off the spikes. Hopefully that's not too many hits. But yeah, Diddy's going to wait out the acid here. As that would do a ton of damage. Luckily, Screw Attack is going to be able to help him navigate through the Three Musketeers. But Diddy still does have the actual Lower Norfair exit into where you navigate to Wave Beam to get to Bubble Mountain. So it does have a little bit of heated space left to deal with, but looks like we'll be okay to get to Bubble Mountain. And I think that we'll see Diddy go up to the Speed Booster, the pre-Speed Booster rooms to get a little bit more energy, or might just be looking to... Oh, he's going to grab a save, actually, which I definitely think is a good call here, not wanting to do any of Lower Norfair again. So good job, Diddy, getting through Lower Norfair. Very nicely done. Whewty's grabbed the save before Dragon and has damaged himself down a little bit. He's going to go set up the Dragon room here. So he's gonna blast these power sockets here. Once you take off the covers with 3 missiles or 1 super, they can't shoot the spikes into you, or not the spikes, the electricity shots. The electricity shots can interrupt a Crystal Flash. They can really just cause all kinds of problems. And so in pretty much all the categories, you're going to see the runners do that. And Whewty is setting up for a Crystal Flash. So he is waiting for Dragon to start a goop phase, starts a Crystal Flash, and when he gets grabbed, it kind of like lets you keep. It sets up a spike suit, I believe. And now Whewty is trying to set up for a quick grapple kill. And we'll see if he also goes to set up the blue suit. Gets gooped a little bit and not grabbed, so he's gonna... He's going to just hide in the corner. And it looks like Whewty was able to store the spike suit a little bit better, as the way that it was stored before that, the way it was explained to me, that it's very easy to accidentally use. And in the section of exiting the Dragon area where you have to grapple jump out, it's very easy to use that on accident. So you'll see the runners like activate the spark very briefly before Dragon grabs them, and then it kind of stops and stores the spark in a different way that's not as likely for you to consume. But you can see with the trail following Whewty that is now the spike suit now turned into a blue suit, I believe is how that works. Diddy's going to want to turn back the ice beam. Looks like he's done that. But now we're going to see Whewty going for the grapple jumps out of here. So he's going to bounce off the corner here and then go into Morph Ball and grapple jump out. And Whewty, first try grapple jumping out of the Dragon Room. He's going to line up on this tile and use that Stored Spark to get out of the Precious Room. So now he needs to use the grapple beam to get out of the pit, and he's going to grab a save. And Whewty is really out of the toughest part of Meridia. Of course, he still does have to get out of the rest of the game, but with Space Jump, that makes this traverse back through the Coliseum significantly easier, and Whewty's going to be able to head through the rest of Meridia and up to Wrecked Ship to face off with Phantoon. But Whewty playing very well so far, really minimizing his errors, which is exactly what you want to do in an RBO race. But Whewty's going to head through Cack Alley. He's going to make his way to Forgotten Highway, excuse me. RBO being one of the categories where Forgotten Highway is frequently remembered. And he is going to farm up a little bit on some of these guys here. Is going to grab the Plasma Beam on the way to Phantoon. Make that fight just a little bit faster, and of course the rest of the game faster as well. Diddy grappling through Mount Everest for the second time of the run. Whewty freezing the fish to make that jump a little bit easier, but now out of the water is going to be able to head over to the Plasma Beam without any issue. And Diddy is into Aqueduct to start some grapple jumps of his own. Putting a power bomb to take out these pesky snails. And then decides, you know what, maybe it's a good idea to grab a save. So he's actually going to grab a save. I'm sure we'll see Diddy go back into that room and lay another power bomb. You do that to take out the snails so they don't disrupt your grapple jump, as they will frequently do in this room. All right, Diddy into the pre-bot wound room, and he's going to set up to do the clip with the Metroid through the crumble block to get into bot wound. All right, Diddy taking on bot wound and does take him out before getting too low, so, and only gets one super drop, and the rest is 20 healths. With this E-Tank here, not really the drops that you want, so is going to have to spend a little bit of extra time farming up these bugs before he heads over to the Aqueduct. Or, I'm sorry, the Coliseum. I tell you guys, I keep getting this messed up. All right, Whewty going through the Forgotten Highway as Diddy navigates this little maze, not being able to use the speed booster, has to jump through these little snaking hallways or morph ball hallways, and then is going to use the grapple beam to farm up on these bugs. Really looking for super drops. Looks to have pretty decent power bomb count, but going to need more supers to be able to have a couple of crystal flashes lined up. Whewty navigating the Forgotten Highway very well. Using the frozen pancake to make himself a miniature platform to jump out of the water. Down grabs on the ledge to get out. And he's now in the back of the wrecked ship, which is not active, so none of these spikes in the spiky room of death do anything. There's a number of names for this room with non-activated spikes, but looks like we're getting a couple people getting their guesses in for Fantoon. You will not be recognized through Fantoon guess points, but I do appreciate you guys getting through here. Oh, close to getting that speedball over the sleeping robot to get into the Fantoon room. Toasty, don't guess 4 rounds for Whewty. That's not cool. With the setup that Whewty has, 2 missile, like if you do the initial 2 missiles and then the other 2 missiles before doing the plasma shots, you can do a 2 round with Fantoon. I'm not sure if he got that the other missile there though, so he might actually need to do a 3rd round. He gets 2 there and 2 again. But yeah, it looks like on the 1st round didn't quite get the other missiles, so unfortunately just needs 1 more here. Yes, the X factors do work on Fantoon, and that is a strategy that you will see commonly used in any percent with Kraid first, so Kraid Fantoon. But Whewty taking out Fantoon, and now he's gonna head to Kraid, the last of the Golden 4 bosses that he needs to take out in RBO. Diddy getting the crystal flash off and gets grabbed by Dragon, so now he's going to he's got the spike suit, it looks like, so now he's going to get ready for another goop phase and is going to look to set up to do the grapple kill, converting. There he goes. Diddy gets that spike suit converted into a blue suit, and now is going to wait to get close enough to one of the electrical outlets in the wall to be able to grapple kill Dragon. And gets plugged into the wall, which is gonna fry the shrimp. And actually has pretty decent health left to be able to do some grapple jump attempts. And even after drops is going to be looking even better. Has enough to crystal flash, so he's going to go and grab space jump, and then we'll see Diddy start to do grapple jumps on the way out. So good luck to Diddy. Diddy's going to take out the socket cover and bounce off the corner there, looking to use the upward momentum to start the grapple jumps. And first try, double first tries for our runners on the grapple jumps out of Dragon Room. Congratulations to both of them. Diddy lining up on that tile to be able to spark out of the Precious Room. So very nicely done. It's going to go ahead and get out of here and grab a save, so it doesn't have to fight Dragon again. And he's going to use the Metroids as little platforms, it looks like, to make this jump a little bit safer. There he goes. He gets out of the water, is able to do a full jump, and he's going to grab a save. as Whewty is heading into the Kraid area. After Kraid is taken care of, Whewty will be grabbing the Varia suit, the only of the power suit upgrades that the runners are going to be getting in RBO. And then he'll be on his way to fight Mother Brain. Of course, with the suit setup, I believe we'll be able to do a crystal or stand-up glitch. Though with the lead that Whewty has currently established, maybe wants to play it a little bit safer. So we'll see what Whewty decides to do as far as try and baby skip and also getting ready to take out, excuse me, Mother Brain a little bit faster in between phase 2 and 3. But Whewty's setting up for the Kraid quick kill and gets told to talk to the hand for those supers. Whewty not using the charge strategies, but sets up the second part of the quick kill very nicely and is skipping the Varia suit. I thought they picked it up. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody in chat, please inform me. I mean, he has enough energy to not have to worry about it, so maybe he just doesn't want to spend the extra time. No need? Okay. I see. So I did see some races earlier this week where people did pick it up, but I guess that didn't realize that was a safety. Thank you. But now Whewty is going to navigate back through the Green Hill Zone to get to Turian. Diddy's going to grab the Plasma Beam and before exiting to the Forgotten Highway. Yeah, and I think Whewty is on pace here. He has a 155 listed as his PB. And it looks like he might even be going for a ship refill. As opposed to going to Turian through Brinstar. All right, well, while we see Diddy following in Whewty's footsteps through Forgotten Highway and Whewty's heading back to the surface of planet Zebes, make sure that if you don't, please give these runners a follow. All right, did he go into only follow the winner? No, follow both runners. Don't just follow the winner. That's not cool. Plus, when you finish an RBO run, you're always a winner because this is not easy. All right, and Whewty is into Golden 4, which is going to have the crystals breaking in the opposite order that the bosses were. All right, Diddy is into an unactivated wrecked ship the back way, so gonna go ahead and go through the spiky room of death here without any of the spikes activated. And Whewty is into Turian already, so he's going to go into the first Metroid room. He is grouping the Metroids up. He's going to lay a bomb, get him to disconnect, but takes him out, having a very nice first Metroid room. Going to group up the second set of Metroids, take them out with one super, and move on to the third. So far, so good. Whewty having some very nice execution on the Metroid room so far. Diddy is getting ready for a fight with a elephant ghost. So we'll see if he's able to get the 2-round, utilizing the 4 missile and fully charged plasma shot strategy. Ooh, doesn't quite get the missile in on the first eye open. So it's going to play a little bit of peekaboo here with Vantoon. But gets the 4 missiles and the plasma shot. So as long as that happens on round 2, which 4 missiles so far, and a plasma shot, Diddy has successfully executed a 2-round Vantoon. Very nicely done. All right, Whewty is setting up for baby skip here, so he's as far up against that wall as he can be. Diddy's going to be heading out of the wrecked ship and over to Kraid as fast as possible. Whewty is jumping in circles to get the baby to follow and circle him, and trying to get off in a good pattern. Gets the mid-air morph, and it looks like Whewty has got the baby skip, so he's not going to have to worry about a recharge. He's already turned off the screw attack, so he can do the Zeb skip. Diddy flying over the ocean with space jump. Takes the save before Mother Brain, the last safety possible. But doesn't want too much trouble here. Freezes the bottom Zeb. He's going to jump up, use the iframes to clip onto the Zeb, or I'm sorry, onto the Rinka, which allows you to move through the Zeb type, but very nicely done Zeb skip for Whewty. And Mother Brain 1 down for Whewty. So now he's going to start into the Mother Brain 2 fight, which requires 20 charged plasma shots with a full beam combo. And then we'll be looking to set up for a stand-up, I believe. But maybe not. Has a significant lead. Doesn't really need to do the stand-up, so could also just look to play it safe. Diddy at the bottom of Red Tower, heading back into the 3 first rooms of Meridia, jumping across the exploded pipe. Oh, just running. But he's on his way to face Kraid. All right, and Whewty, having completed the Mother Brain 2 section, damages himself down to take a rainbow beam to the face here. Looks like is setting up for stand-up glitch. And the way that this stand-up is going to work here is you can see that Whewty is staying off the ground while the baby enters the cutscene. One of the cues for you being stuck to the floor at this point is being on the ground when the baby attaches. So Whewty staying off the ground to make sure he doesn't get stuck here. Does have to be a little bit careful because there's still a few things that can go wrong here. But it's going to start the stand-up glitch here shortly. Diddy using charge strats on Kraid to get his hand to freeze down into place and hits the quick kill perfectly with 4 super missiles. So he's going to make his way out of Kraid and also not going to grab the Varia suit. So we'll see if he routes the back way or if he goes to refill the ship just like Whewty did. And Whewty taking some shots, but also making sure he doesn't get clipped onto Mother Brain's knee, which can be one of the points where things can go wrong here. but it's just going to fire as many charge shots as possible. You're actually doing damage to the Mother Brain 3 phase at this point, even though you're in the middle of the cutscene. All right, Whewty taking a couple last shots before accepting the Hyper Beam from the baby Metroid, and we'll see how well the stand-up went. 6 shots, maybe 7 shots, so very nice setup, stand-up glitch for Whewty. And he is currently 5 minutes ahead of his listed PB on his way to the escape. So we're looking at a really good run from Whewty here. And the emergency in Franker Z has started. And Diddy is reversing across the new bridge. Looks like is going to be entering Turian from the back. Yeah, hopefully your grandparents are seeing this, Whewty, or Doc, so they know that you've married a real man in Whewty who can get a sub 130 in RBO. All right, Whewty making it through the Leodoc's room is going to spark up the right side of the shaft. He's into Parlor at 129. All right, does get hit by a couple different points of steam, but Whewty has jumped onto the ship and has finished with a 1 hour, 29 minute, and 19 second time, a new PB. And I believe this is also his first deathless RBO run. Congratulations to Whewty on a really nice PB and an excellent run, especially a good timing to have in a race. I accidentally closed the commentator controls. Sorry, Wolf man. I got it though. But yep, congratulations again to Whewty. Diddy into the Golden 4 section, getting the statue to dissolve before falling through the floor. But yeah, Diddy very close as well, and also on PB pace. I think Diddy's PB, let me look it up. I think it was a 155, but let me check the spreadsheet. It's a 156.27, so Diddy definitely on pace here. Yeah, so we're set to be looking at a double PB RBO race, which is an awesome way to start the day. And just a reminder, as we have Diddy going through Turian, if you want to watch more Super Metroid later today, we've got 2 races at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, one Azo and Mumu Diddy, and then Toasty Muffins taking on Aussie 101. And then our final race of round 5 of the Swiss will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be Galamaz and TG Derp. So we have a ton, or not a ton, but we've got a lot of good matchups that are going to be happening for the rest of the day. And of course, round 6 of the Swiss, the final round of Swiss, will be starting next week. Going to have a really incredible race up between our 2 remaining undefeated players, which is Zost and Shiny Zenny. So that's going to be a real good one. But as the last round of Swiss kicks off, we're going to have a lot of incredible matchups, a lot of really close skill gaps. So we should have a really great final week of Swiss before heading into the playoffs. All right, Diddy has finished up with the Ghidorah. The final Ghidorah is going to grab the last save here before heading over to Mother Brain. All right, and gets that Zeb skip on the first try. It's very nicely done. Diddy's gonna freeze the Rinkas before blasting Mother Brain with some super missiles to get the Mother Brain 1 fight finished. And is now getting ready to start Mother Brain 2. Again, 20 fully charged plasma shots here. And then we'll also be looking to set up for stand-up possibly. And excuse me. Diddy already into the catch-up phase, so just a few shots left here. Gonna bonk off of Mother Brain's knee, which does a ton of damage with no power suit upgrades. I think that was like 3 full E-tanks. But takes a rainbow beam to the face to set up for the cutscene here. So it's going to stay off the ground while the Metroid flies in to start snacking on Mother Brain. So he is not locked to the ground for the cutscene. All right, Diddy starting off the stand-up, which, as I mentioned before, little room for air, can soft block in a couple places, and without X-ray, there are a few more places where you can't exactly fix it. But he's going to be shooting the shots, backing up a little bit to get the Metroid into the right position. This, of course, doing damage to Mother Brain 3 in the middle of the cutscene, so gonna take a lot less hyper beam shots to finish out the game. All right, Diddy taking a couple last shots, accepting the hyper beam from the baby Metroid, and also having a 6-shot exit on Mother Brain 3. So equally good stand-ups from our runners today. Yeah, and Diddy is definitely set up for a huge PB here. Currently 20 minutes ahead of his listed PB, just starting the escape, but going to be going from a 156 to an easy sub 140. Probably closer to 138, maybe mid 138. Diddy's listed PB on the spreadsheet is 156. It's possible that Diddy has PB'd since then, but we're going to operate under the assumption that that's his current PB. All right, Diddy has successfully sparked through. and is into the Leodox room, just about to start his last climb up there before sparking through the shaft. All right, Diddy makes his way through the parlor and is about to run to the final, the landing site for the last run of the game. And Diddy has landed on the ship and has entered the ship with an SRL time of 1 hour and 38 minutes on the dot, according to SRL time, and an improvement of 17 minutes and 39 seconds to his PB. So good job. Congratulations, Diddy, on a wonderful PB. Very well executed. All right, and Diddy does want to come in for an interview here in a little bit, so hopefully we'll be seeing him shortly. Of course, if you haven't already, as I've mentioned before, please give these runners a follow. They both put on an excellent race for us today. Really awesome RBO race to start the morning, so thanks to both runners for showing off. And just a reminder, shout outs to our sponsors for the Super Metroid multi-category tournament, both combining to put up a $750 prize pool for the tournament that we're watching right now. Our sponsor is Balls Guarana. If you go to Balls' website, they have a bunch of different flavors. They have cherry cola, root beer, ginger ale. Their original flavor, which is kind of close to Sprite, but has a little bit of a twist on it because that's kind of what Guarana tastes like. And a couple other things, but you can actually order cases of balls directly to your door through their website. And of course, Megacat Studios are other sponsors. They operate as basically like a modern indie studio, creating some games, but also creating some really cool aesthetics for the games that they do. For example, they have a game that's like a wood chopping game, and you can actually get a cartridge, an NES cartridge made of wood. So they're doing some really cool stuff to make their games special. So thank you so much to Balls Guarana and Megacat Studios for sponsoring the multi-category tournament. We really appreciate the support. And it looks like we've got Diddy in the setup room, so we should be having him join us any moment now for a quick interview. Of course, don't forget 2 races happening at 4 p.m. Eastern. So check out the different SpeedGaming channels for the upcoming races that we have, and then a final race of the week at 8 p.m. And we are joined by Diddy. Congratulations on a really nice PB and a really fun race to watch. How do you feel about everything?
I'm glad for the PB. I wasn't really expected to beat Whewty, except if he died a lot, and I'm glad it's a huge PB.
Yeah, it was a really big PB.
And I'm glad I didn't die at my first level. My level was so close.
Yeah, that was really close. Going into the race today, were you expecting to play some RBO, or is there something else that you thought you might be?
I was expecting RBO. I practiced all morning to be sure I put my bet.
And was there any reason that you vetoed all bosses for?
Mainly because Whewty did 2 any percent and 1 all bosses in his previous round, and each time he had a faster time than me, so I knew I had no chance if I ran all.
Okay. I think next week's categories are low percent, ice, any percent, and triple bingo. Is there anything out of those three that you're really looking forward to playing, or anything that?
Will definitely veto low percent because I haven't completed a run yet. I hope I get some bingo because I haven't done one yet, and I was looking forward to do some bingo, but I don't really think that will happen.
Yeah, it'll really depend on after the last week of matchups are revealed who you're playing. Maybe we'll be able to be interested in triple.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't have any other questions for you, Diddy. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Congrats on Whewty for the PB2, and thank you for commenting.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. I've really been enjoying this week of reverse boss order and GT Classic. And I mean, any percent all bosses is also fun too, but the volatility of the other two categories has made for a lot of really fun races. And thank you for joining us for an interview as well.
Thank you.
All right, well, that is going to do it here for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this race between Diddy and Whewty. I am Android Dreams, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around for this race. Of course, our sponsors, Balls of Guarana and Mega Cat Studios. Big thanks to you guys for putting up the prize pool for this. Another reminder, at 4 p.m. Eastern, we have 2 more races, Azo and Mumu Didi, as well as Toasty versus Aussie. We'll be wrapping up our day with this tournament with Galamaz and Derp at 8 p.m. So definitely come check us out on different speed gaming channels to see some more Super Metroid races. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning and joining us for this great race. Make sure you give the runners a follow. And other than that, we will see you next race. Thank you.